The prompt I chose was, how does immigration show the positives and negatives of federalism? For the positives, showing that federalism is a good idea when dealing with immigration, is the idea that if we have this large blanket policy when we're dealing with immigration, it would allow the federal government to control certain states who would have an extreme amount of regulations on who can come into their state, or would completely ban immigrants in general. If that were to happen, we would see mass amounts of inequality among those immigrants, and we would also see certain states taking in the brunt of immigrants, since less immigrants are now allowed into those certain states. For the positives, I would say that if we have these kinds of blanket policies, there aren't state laws that are able to pinpoint the specifics of each state and how they're dealing with the immigration problem. So, for example, Arkansas and California likely have very different types of immigration, because one is very tech focused and the other is very agriculture focused. So they're probably getting different types of immigrants. And if we don't account for that, we can't correctly handle the situation. Another way that federalism could be a bad thing, or at least considered a bad thing, is that it may undermine the voices of people within those states. So if you have a state where the majority of people agree that they don't want immigration, the federal government and people from outside that state are still forcing them to take in those immigrants. So it could be seen as the federal government trumping over the rights of those people who live within the state.